Oh yeah, this song's weird. I don't know about this. So we're going to be looking at Zbrush today, and I'm going to be answering all the questions I can in chat, as well as showing like a lot of the basics, just from what we'd seen on the Discord earlier. So let's see if we can't do that. No video. Here it comes. Loading, loading, loading. Aha. Oh man, that hard drive speed though. How you guys doing? Simon's fine? I don't know, man. Extra small one. I kind of like that. All right, Simon it is. Hey, Chaos. How you doing? Okay, so I have like a little like scribbled together checklist that you probably can't see. No, no, too bright, too bright. Well, I can see it, so works for me. I'm gonna move this mic a little bit. There's this wire thing in the way. Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna hear all the like squeaky noises. Just want to make sure I'm not constantly hitting that wire piece. Is that gonna work? Is that gonna work for me? I think so. Zebra streamer. Okay, so we'll start with some really basic stuff. So, like right off the bat, we've got this like when you open up Zbrush, you get this this bar here. Hitting comma will get rid of that, or you can just hit hide up here. You'll see that my UI is a little like I've modified the colors and stuff, but I'll try my best not to click on any of the buttons that I've added, and then we will talk about how how you add those buttons as well. So okay, so first on the list, as I read the list, oh man, I need this coffee too, because you know I don't have enough caffeine in me already. Nathan, dude, buddy, how you doing? Hello. Oh. Okay. Panels. So you got these panel things on the side, right? So you got this one over here. And you see like in the UI, creative juice intake. These dividers, like you can't see them in my UI colors. But if you click them, they'll like collapse that. And if you hit tab, you can like hide a lot of your UI. Some people don't know early on that like if you move your mouse over here, there's another divider. So you can just like click that and it'll expand this side. These are panels, right? So all those panels can be found up here. You can see brush. Here's brush. And you can see as well when you click on them, they go away from here because they become active over here. Laced with some caffeine. Oh, delicious. So if you want, like, say you want, let's say you want, I'm like trying to think of colors. I end up actually docking this to the side quite often. So these little dial things here, you can click on that and you hold down the click or with your pen, and then you can drag it onto these panels. So if you drop it, then it becomes just in the dock. You can also click and pull it out if you want. So if you don't want any of these things, right? But you'll end up going to brushes quite a bit this way. So you'll want to control some stuff in your brushes. Freezy, you're able to watch the stream. Oh my god. Oh my god. So in the most recent ZBrush, they added a new pivot tool. Let's go ahead and create a object real quick. We'll do like cylinder 3D. You just click and drag it out. If you hold shift, you can like, oh, maybe you can't. What the hell? What's happening? So click and drag it out. Oh, wow. Look at this, guys. If that happens, I don't even know. Let's do. So I just made a new document. Drag this out. Press T. We'll put it into edit mode. And then that'll allow you to rotate stuff around. Rest, what's going on, man? You'll notice as well that it kind of looks like how in 3ds Max when you're in isometric view. If you press P, it'll toggle perspective, which is also up here. You'll see it trigger on and off. So in some cases, it's really good to like turn perspective off, right? So like, let's say this is the tool we're going to look at here in a second, but let's say that it's really long, and as you bring it to the side, you can see like perspective becomes an issue, and maybe you need to grab this side and move it, and you need to be able to grab that evenly. You can just press P to turn perspective off, and then it's much easier to deal with the side there. Every time something happens in ZBrush, I just close and reopen it. Yeah, that works. That works. So we'll turn perspective back on. So this gizmo here, this is pretty new. This came out in the most recent ZBrush, R8. If you're not comfortable with that, there's the gizmo tool right here. I believe. Yeah, so if you hold down Control on things, you can view tooltips on them, which is pretty useful. Let's so this is the gizmo tool. It's kind of weird at first. I'm gonna switch to my tablet because less clicking sounds. So you'll see if you grab and move this around, or if you grab and move that, you're moving the asset. We'll turn the grid on as well. What we got here? Floor. Shift P. I don't use it enough, so I don't ever really look at the hotkey. But yeah, Shift P. D-Clown, how you doing, man? We're just looking at ZBrush, talking about some basic stuff. Hey, Pro. So, there's a home button here. There's a mesh to axis. You click that, it will move the pivot center, wherever the mesh is, to the axis while still like grounding it, because this is a floor, right? Dabo, how you doing? So when you're looking at this and you're like, what the hell? Okay, how do I control this stuff? You'll notice there's this little lock thing here. If you hold Alt, you'll see that it unlocks temporarily, and then when you let go of Alt, it relocks. So if you grab this side and you try and move it, you're like, oh shit, this is no good. Turn perspective off so it's easier to see what's going on. We drag it up here, and then maybe you hit home. It'll drop it like below the... Oh, dude, it's so weird. Sometimes I don't even understand what's going on. So see, if I hit home once, it goes there, and if I hit it again, it pops it back up above the ground plane, but like slaps it onto the ground plane. But if you hold Alt, the lock is open, and then you can move this freely. Now, remember, if you let go of Alt, it's locked again, and if you hit home, the pivot's going to move here, but the mesh is going to move with the pivot. So if you hold Alt again and then click that, it'll just move back into place. Your last attempt with ZBrush ended in uninstalling it. Oh man, that's tough, dude. Well, hopefully this will help you out a bit. So that's kind of like the basics of this pivot tool, or gizmo rather. It's got all types of stuff in here. So like you can move this around, and you can move this. It's got rotate in there, right? It's got the scales inside of there, as you can see. So if you need to do that, like you could hold down Alt, move this over here, and then do a scale. And of course, if you have it lined up well enough, you can just scale one direction. The other thing you can do is, like, if you hold down Control and you select the background and draw it, you can mask. Right, so everything that is grayed out like that is not going to move, and then you can move this pretty freely without worrying about this side moving. Of course, if you press Shift F, you're going to see your wireframe, and when you see your wireframe, you might get kind of freaked out by what's happening. Just because geometries can get pretty messy in here. Let's center that to its home again. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's the next thing we should look at. So next thing I got is Dynamesh Master and Dynamic Sub D. Like what the hell those are about. So Dynamesh, we got geometry. So you'll notice when I clicked into the tools and I selected this cube, this is a polymesh, or like a geometry that's built inside of Zbrush to begin with. So it's got some like exposed parameters to it. So if you look at like initialize, you can do all types of stuff to this. So once I started moving around, it resets to its cube, right? In the initialize dropdown, which is in this tools panel, this is over here by default as well, for anyone curious. Let's turn this perspective on because it looks prettier. So you can do some twisting. You can increase the side count, which makes it not a cube, but you know, whatever. You can do all types of stuff, really. I wonder if you can go past... No, you can't go past 100. That's weird. So this is the height divisions, or horizontal divisions, and then you've got your vertical subdivisions. So if you need to, you can scale those up and down. We're going to lower this quite a bit, just so that we have a cube. I'm like, wait, what? We don't really have a cube. That's cool. Well, that'll lead us into our next thing. Anyways, so you can't really sculpt on this or subdivide it at all. You can do this, right? But then like you don't have all the like little fancy options here. So what you have to do is click this Polymesh 3D. So you click that guy. It'll duplicate the subtool. So this is your subtool window. And you'll see it right here. So this was what we had, and then when we we make Polymesh 3D, it dupes this over here. Do I also show off QCube? I don't even know what QCube is. But maybe. If you ever notice your asset gets dark like this, you probably accidentally selected a color somewhere along the lines. You just go back up to white here. And remember, we talked about docking panels. You can just do this. Or you can, if you need like exact control, you can just pop it over there. And then if you fill object, it will actually paint the vertices of the mesh, which causes it to take on the color that you gave it. So before anyone kills me, we're going to switch out of this material. So that's something a little bit more interesting. Shift F again to turn wireframe on and off. You can see it over here as well. It's like polyframe is what they call it. QMesh. I don't know this QMesh. Anyways, so dynamic subdivisions. It looks like you can't really click on this. But so first off, if you divide a mesh, let's see here. If you hit divide, right? I'll turn wireframe on. You can see it's dividing, and then you can freely sculpt on it and whatnot. You can lower your subdivisions and go back to your original shape, but it is forever modified, even at the lowest subdivision. So what we're going to do is undo all of that, and we're going to go into the dynamic subdivisions. So you can just click this guy. And you can control, it's kind of like in Maya, you can control like the smoothing subdivide amount. But Shift D will turn it off, and then D, I would suggest saying always, I don't know, I guess maybe it's a personal choice based on what you're trying to do. But dynamic subdivide, I'd say always. So D will do it, and then Shift D does not, it'll like invert it. So it's like non-destructive, if you want to call it that. The other nice thing is you start to get access to these little handles, which if we use ZModeler, which is the other semi-recent tool, I think this was in R7. They're universally shunned because people just don't like it. No. You end up actually not seeing a lot of the information that you're sculpting with that material, surprisingly. So when you see these handles, you can move these around. So maybe you need to, maybe you want to do this, right? And then you can make sure you add more subdivisions. You can smooth that all out. Shift F to turn the wireframe off. You can kind of see what's going on, and you can see when you're highlighting these things, you can see what the ZModeler is selecting. Now, if we Shift D, oh, whoops, what are we doing here? That's Shift F, Shift D. Go back to this. So this is the mesh, right? How fancy. ZModeler was R7. All right, cool. I kind of know what I'm talking about. Awesome. So let's see here. We hit D. This is what we're looking at, right? And with ZModeler, it's just, I think it's BZM. We'll select it. BZM. Now, when you're mouse over things, or your cursor's over things, you get some contextual stuff. You can see like text popping up. It's like QMesh apoly. So let's look at this top area here. Or actually, no, let's see here. Let's look at this spot. So we got a quad here, right? And you see it's highlighting it. And you get some directional information too, depending on like which way you're pointing. When you hit spacebar while moused over it, you can get some contextual properties, or you get contextual properties that are like, this is the action, and then you have your target, and then modifiers. So like, let's say we want to bevel a single poly. So when you click, you end up beveling this poly, right? And then if we press D or Shift D, you can see what's happened. Like that's cool, right? And then let's say maybe you need this pattern to be a little bit tighter. Like you want to crease that edge. You can do a couple of things like, let's see if I can't display this right. So I'm mouse over an edge. I want to insert a single edge loop. So if I click this edge, I can move this edge loop around, and you can kind of see what's going on. There we go. If I turn this off, you can really see. Like, I can just put these wherever I need them. And because you're using dynamic subdiv, you can just go back and forth between those and just kind of get them working the way you want. So that's pretty useful. Let's do an extrude. Hey, thanks for the follow. You came to watch me squeeze some juice? Oh yeah. My cam and sound are a bit off. That happens. Let's for now, let's just kill that. Just because I don't want to deal. I don't want to deal. Ah. Boom. How about that? Is that cool? Is that fine with you guys? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you get no din face. No din face. Okay, so we got extrude. We're gonna extrude a single poly. We're gonna grab this one and we're just gonna bring it out like this. Maybe we need to, let's see here. There's so many things in here. It's pretty crazy, actually. What if I want to scale? What does that do? Okay, so So it allows me to scale that poly. That's interesting. And then we should have a move in here. There it is. So it looks like this is just moving on like it's on its normal. Single poly, align to normal, align to axis. Oh, that is weird, man. So yeah, this can get kind of crazy. Almost as crazy as this song. Durzo, dude, that's hilarious. So one of the things that's going to be kind of interesting about using this Z modeler is creasing. So you can crease the edge, or you can crease edge loops entirely. So let's say we're gonna crease this. So if you click that edge, you can see it's creased that edge, and you can crease this. If you hit Alt, you can uncrease an edge or crease it back. Pretty useful. So see, I've creased all those. So now no matter how much you subdivide, it's going to crease that. Where did you go, man? Ah. Thanks, Veyron. Yeah, I figured if I start looking into that, we'll go into some random tangent. Maybe I'll look at that after I get through the list. So now that we made this horribly atrocious looking thing that I don't even know what to think of. Let's see what we're gonna look at next. So this is Z modeler, right? And dynamic sub D. Now let's look at Dynamesh. So by default in geometry, because that's initially what we're going to talk about, wasn't it? There's a... So because we're in dynamic, make sure that you hit apply, and then you see you'll get your subdivs baked down now. So now like you can't go back basically. You can see these two are different colored polygroups. So if we go to Dynamesh, we can Dynamesh this. Let's say, oh yeah, we got to freeze subdivisions. So if I say yes, it's basically I'm going to lose all those levels, right? Because Dynameshing is essentially just creating... Oh, it does it for you, but then doesn't Dynamesh it. So we're going to delete lower. So we have just the high poly, or as high as it was. And then let's try Dynameshing it. So this does a pretty good job. I mean, it's getting some weird creasing stuff. If you hold shift, you can smooth it out, right? And if that type of smoothing is not working for you, if you hit the comma key and go up to brushes, this is like one of those secrets for people that are new. There's like a ton of brushes in here that no one really knows early on. But like, look at this. There's a smooth folder, and there's all these different types of smoothing. So like smooth crease. What's that do? Oh, I'm still in Z modeler. Let's go back to standard. Okay, so I just kind of ran that smooth with that type of smoothing. See if I hold shift, it says smooth crease. Let's undo that and try it with just a regular smoothing. I am having a hard time telling if there's a difference. To BSU, checking syncing problems. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that brush. Let's look at some other stuff in here. I usually like the smooth peaks and smooth valleys. It's like smoothing on like concave or convex. Trim dynamic or adaptive? Dynamic, But usually when I'm looking at those types of brushes, I'm gonna go into the trim folder and use trim smooth border. That one seems to be doing a lot more of the things that I like to do. I did turn off the webcam just for the sake of, you know, you guys, we're having syncing problems with the webcam. I don't feel like dealing with it. So we got this Dynameshed. It looks all right. There's some issues with it. One thing to know that with this highlighted, we're in like live Dynamesh mode. So like if I go and then like, let's use the snake hook, which is pretty cool. Snake hook is right here. Oh, right. If you're painting colors like that, RGB is on. Just turn that off. You'll be good. Snake hook's crazy because like just the way it moves geometry around is pretty cool. We're creating some type of weird creature thing. Now, if you hold Control and then mask in the background, it will re-Dynamesh what exists. You can smooth that out and then redo it again. Let's go ahead and see, like, I'm using Smooth Valley, so it's not smoothing out these like sharp edges. So let's go ahead and go back to regular smooth. There we go. Oh, disclaimer, snake hook unavailable in ZBrush Core. Oh, that is great to know. I did not know that. Cammy, it's okay. Everything's fine. Some early problems people run into and with things like this is maybe they get a little too thin. You can do like an inflate. Where are we at here? Inflate. And you can inflate these. Oh, so weird. Lower the intensity. You'll know too, like, see if you mouse over things, you'll get hotkeys as well, which is kind of nice. It's like we can then control the intensity. Let's go ahead and inflate this, but not like too aggressively. And then remember, we have Dynamesh on so that you can marquee. Man, this thing is freaking weird. I don't know what we're making. So yeah, just so you know, again, the snake hook, it sounds like snake hook is not in the ZBrush Core. ZBrush Core is a light version, technically, of ZBrush. It's quite a bit more affordable. And I believe that, I could be wrong, but I believe the money that you pay for buying that, it does seem like a World Trophy thing. The money that you pay into ZBrush Core, I believe you can use to buy the full version of ZBrush. Could be wrong. Anyways, this is weird. We keep looking at it like this, but it's actually this way. Let's rotate that. If you hold down Shift, you can lock the rotation to 5-degree increments. So, while I really like Dynamesh right here, it's a toilet with horns. You can go and download for free, and I imagine you can't do this on ZBrush Core, the Dynamesh Master, which we'll just drag this over here. This is the plugins. Another random tip, if you click a subgroup and then you click another subgroup, you'll notice that the other one collapses, but maybe you need both of them open for whatever reason. You should be able to just shift, hold down Shift and just open as many as you want, right? Anywho, I really like Decimation Master, and I think it's because it gives me a much more exact information on what I'm trying to do. So, like, I'm going to just turn this off now. Devil Toilet. Maybe I should do some other things on this really quickly. Let's see here. Dang, there's some brushes I'm missing here that I need to re-download. We'll do that in another video and talk about some brushes that are needed. Let's just do we'll just do standard, but then I will change the alpha to like, I don't know if this is going to be a good, all right, and RGB is on. Let's do some weird things real quick. So if you hold down spacebar, you can get access to a bunch of the tools. Honestly, have no idea what this is. We're just gonna ride with it though. We're just gonna keep going. Oh, this is getting creepy, guys. This brings me back to when I was working on the that Hydralisk. Oh man, look at that, dude! I'm seeing some weird stuff in there. Oh, this is okay. We're keeping that. That's cool. That's cool. Creature design with DiNusty. No, I'm terrible at that stuff. So if you wonder what I just did there, BMV will be your move brush, and you can move things around like this. If you hold down Alt while you do it, it will move it in the direction of the normal. Oh, this is so weird, man. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Dude, it's like a weird cat thing. Ugh. All right, cool. So, now that we got this really terrifying looking thing, whoa, I can't do this song. Hang on. So, that music was really making this thing creepy. I'm going to have nightmares tonight? No, it's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. Dude, this thing is terrifying. Anywho, so if you look at the wireframe, right, it's kind of doing some weird deforming stuff. It's not too bad right now. But the reason I like Decimation Master is you can, or not Decimation Master, sorry, we're going to look at that in a little bit. Dynamesh Master is you can tell it exactly what the poly count is that you want. So like 0.5 would be 500,000 polys. So if we just Dynamesh and then bake that out. It does some better calculations for how it figures out the topology of this. And you see there's a little blur value here. So if we have some, like, I just did some undoing there. If you have some, let's go to where we at here. Standard. Let's turn the strength up on this. So let's say you've got some like deeper information in there. If you've got Dynamesh on and you've got blur on, it'll smooth out a lot of this information. But if you do that prior to, if you turn that off or have it 0, you'll actually lose less information, which can be pretty good if you're trying to maintain a lot of details that you've previously sculpted. Let's undo that now. I don't like it. Oh no. There we go. Yes. So this Dynamesh Master, I highly suggest if you're able to install it. It's free. I think you can't do that with ZBrush Core, but I could be wrong. Let's see what else we're going to talk about here. So on the list is retopology and auto retopoing and stuff like that. So first choice for something organic like this, right? You could do like a Decimation Master, where what you're doing is you're pre-processing the current selected subtool. So if there's like multiple subtools, we'll append like a sphere. That should work just fine. W to move, and then we can just kind of put this wherever we want. Return do this. You can see this can get convoluted pretty quickly with all the menus and stuff. This is why it kind of looks daunting to people. Go ahead and fill that object. So we got this sphere. If you tap on this object with Alt clicked, you can jump through the subtools. You see this, right? So now that we have multiple subtools, I can just go to this guy. So this guy's selected. We pre-process current, which analyzes the geometry to make sense of it before the decimation occurs. Turn wireframe back on. And let's say we want to do a decimation of like, let's make it 5% of what it originally was. So we'll decimate current. And so this is technically 5% of the original. Dude, you guys are hilarious. I need to like get rid of this shape just so that you guys can focus. So this is 5% of the original. If you pre-process current, this 5% becomes the new 100%, right? So then if you do like 1% of this, you can see it really crushes it down. And if you're like, oh man, that's way too far, you can just either Control Z or you can like dial in a new value, because like the 100% to 0% is fully exposed until you pre-process again. So you can just put this wherever you want and then decimate it. So this, I mean, this is pretty good. Like maybe this cylinder piece back here, maybe you would want that to be like a much cleaner piece. And then in that case, I would actually select those polys in your favorite 3D program and delete them, and then just extrude that out and cap it off. So you can clean it up on your own, you know. There's some retopo tools in here as well, but I think we may look at those at another time just because it gets really like picky about what you're doing. Yeah, so we have these two things, right? If you go in like, let's say, let's see here, let's go to a different shape here. So we've got this guy. Z-remesher. Oh yes. Oh yes. Let's go check that out real quick. So if I start undoing this, we'll get our, so Z-remesher is quite relevant in this as well. I'm trying to remember where it's at now. There's the UV tools. I think Z-remesher is just in here, isn't it? Well, that's getting to the semi more advanced stuff. Right. Thanks. Remesh. Will remesh visible subtools? I don't know about that. In the new ZBrush, this is kind of weird. Like if you click the eye, it doesn't do what you're expecting. But if you hold Shift, you can hide. You can hide all of the things. There we are. So in geometry, thanks guys. I was looking at another remesh tool. So if you go to geometry and then you go down to where are we at here? Remesher or Z remesher. You can basically just tap this guy and it will attempt to do a target remesh of this. Let's see if this kills the stream. I don't think it will. You see this bar kind of going. I believe it uses your CPU, so it should be okay. David P, what's going on, man? How you doing? So this does a really clean job of remeshing your asset for you. Like it's crazy. Usually, yeah, ZBrush is CPU based. Yes. So with that said, that's probably the cleanest way. Because I mean, look how optimized you can you can actually go in and using man, I feel like we're gonna crash this any second, but We can use Z modeler, right? Well, like maybe we'll where are we at here? We'll shrink our brush down, and we can remove. Where are you at? I think it's, is it bevel? And then if I hold Alt, no, because beveling will do that. Insert single edge loop. So if you're in edge loop mode, right, you can just Alt click these and then it'll get rid of them. Let's see if you can move. Oh yeah, that's freeform moving. Yes. So let's look at that really quick. So Z remesher guides. So you can do some stuff like making sure. You basically can do. You're like, I want to make sure these lines are maintained, and like we'll do this. And then maybe you want to go like that. And then when you use your Z remesher, it can clean up that, it'll follow those, or it'll keep those in mind when it calculates your Z remesh. Yeah, and that came in 4R8, in case anyone's like, do I have that? I appreciate that you guys are dropping the knowledge bombs in chat as well. It's cool. I feel like, there we go. It's like, I feel like we're going to crash. I can feel it. Your symmetry is off? No, that's fine. I don't need symmetry to be on, because we're just looking at stuff. I guess you would want the symmetry on if you want the Z remesh to be correct. Like, so you can see the guides are on this side. Actually, so you can see, like, this is actually, dude, that's like a face. I can see it. So you can see how this form-wise looks versus this side. Like, can I center this? So you can see it's trying to conform a lot more to the lines that I had placed. If you press X, you can turn your symmetry on. You can see the guides that I'd drawn out. And if you hold Alt, you can paint them away as well. So if I do this, and then I think I can just cross them out. Yeah. Cool. So we'll just draw some more of these guides. But yeah, that's kind of how the guides work for the Z remesher. It's pretty crazy. If you're a character artist, this is like super sick. Ace Ron, we already covered Dynamesh. It's magical. I'll make sure this gets pushed onto the YouTube channel though. So now that we've covered that, let's go ahead and do a Z remesh of this. Oh, don't be sorry, man. I didn't expect you guys to be here from the beginning. It is all good. Oh man, 7 months. What the hell? Dude, thanks, man. You the best. You the best. Sir Waffle Pants. So that's kind of like some retopo action. Let's look at, so I haven't used this too much, but of course, plugins, right? It's up here because I've moved it over here. But there's a UV master. And you can have it like enable control painting. Whoops. Nice. Hang on here. Man, it's been a while since I used this. Okay, so you have your RGB on. Move this up. So if you paint this color here, right, when you hit protect, it's going to try and protect this area from being split by the UV tool, because it's gonna add splits where it needs to. Then there's the attract. So maybe I want this to be split off. We'll see if this works. Maybe I'll run this up here. Who knows if this is going to happen, but let's try that. And then you just hit this guy. And then if you hit flatten, you can see where it unwrapped from. It does a pretty decent job. It's pretty good. You just unflatten that again. Where I would suggest this would be really good for organic stuff that, like, you say you're making sculpting rocks or something like that. This could be good for the initial unwrap, because then it's much easier to sort through your geometry in like Modo, Max, or Maya, or Blender even. If you already have some UVs to kind of work with, you can use it as kind of like a guide to be able to easily select geometry, right? There's also attract from ambient occlusion, which is pretty interesting. Let's just click that. So this will basically try and put the attract paint where there's AO, which is usually where you're not going to see your seams, right? Dude, Mike's a freaking beast. He slipped that? That's funny. Oh, whoops. That guy's amazing at teaching Zbrush. If you guys don't know about him, someone drop a link in chat, because that guy freaking nails everything that is Zbrush. Really good at dropping information about how to use Zbrush well. But yeah, so that's like the basics of like how you can use UV Master in ZBrush. And then there was some questions about like how we could use I'm gonna delete this guy. Okay, so we got this sphere. I'm just gonna hide it. Perspective, turn the plane off, and we're gonna give this a easier color to look at. So we're looking at this guy. We're like, yeah, that's cool. There's these things called where are we at here? Polygroups. These are magical things. So when you have your move tool, right, if you hold down control and move, you can move the geometry and duplicate at the same time, which can be really useful. Let's say we push these ones together like this. You can see these ones are darker, so they're currently masked. Whoops. There we go. Currently they're masked. If we control marquee the background, you can unmask them, and you see like these are all in the same subtool, right? And if you do like this is a good time to just do this. This is a good time to show. Oh no. Hang on here. I also like if you're marking and it's square like this, you can get away from that. You can when you're holding down control to do your masking, you can just go up here and switch it to like lasso. Lasso is my comfort. Let's see here. Okay, so let's move this into place here. So it's kind of bridging the gap between all of those. So you got these spheres. They're like intersecting with each other, right? Josh would be proud. Dude, this is all for Josh. So you have these, right? If you use DynaMesh and DynaMesh them together, holy cow, that's some poly counts. So DynaMesh can be really expensive sometimes. So be careful about that. If it crashes, like save often, because if it crashes, it crashes. So this is 100,000 polys, and you can see they've merged together. What are we doing here? Smooth does not seem to be smoothing as much as you would hope. A smooth valley. So this would be considered a valley, right? There we go. So this, you're doing that, right? But maybe you want these spheres to be separate from each other. So you can run this thing. Drop, what's up, man? Grup, how you doing? So if you go down here to polygroups, if you hit auto group, it's automatically going to assign polygroups to individual assets that aren't merged together, right? So when you get into that state, you can start doing things like if you hold down Control and Shift, you can mask geometry with a marquee. So this is Control and Shift. If you do it in the background, it'll invert it. If you click the background, it will free it all up. Oh man, 2 months in a row, dude. Thanks, Mr. JK. So Control Shift, click, it will mask by polygroup. If you click it again, it will hide as you continue to click through. So like you can do some stuff like maybe we want to isolate this one, and then we want to group visible. So you click that. So these are all the same polygroup. And then when you go back, now this one is a different color, right? So when you do a Dynamesh, you can look at this Dynamesh master has a group option. And if you click that, oh shit, did it merge it? You're not supposed to merge it, man. No, it's good. Cool. So they did not merge. I was like, oh my God, they merged. It's like, I can't believe this. Graffiti, we're just looking at some basic ZBrush stuff. Just kind of like get people used to ZBrush and like how things work. So you remember, oh my God, this song. A little too intense. So let's auto group again. So these are all different, right? Now, the reason I ended up talking about this is because that's what this button is, affects. So with these all being different polygroups, let's say you brought this in as one subtool from a 3D package. You can like auto polygroup them, and then you can split and then group split, or split by parts. But if you hit group split, hit OK, it should just split everything based on polygroups. So like maybe you wanted these two to be together, then they just need to be the same polygroup color and they'll be in the same subtool. Let's see what else we can get into shenanigan wise. In R8, you used to looking at the default UI? Oh yeah. I mean that's pretty normal because it's default. Sorry. So let's oh, that is annoying. Let's move this up here. So we can move this around, right? This subtool is above these ones. You have like live Boolean options. So if I click that guy, now Booleans are live. Surprise, live Booleans. And you can do some subtraction with stuff. Let's see if we can't get this working correctly. Yeah, so if I turn wireframe off, we can see that Booleans are working between these two. So if I turn wireframe on, you can see what's happening. If I do BMV for move, and I start to move this one around, I can move this around. Oh man, this is so nice. I freaking love this. Let's turn symmetry on and we'll just move this around. Hug it. Hug him. He's hugging him. Hug him. It's going to be fine. Anyways, if I turn wireframe off, you can see what's happening. Like how freaking magical. Let me turn that back on. You can see what's going on. The other thing you can do is we can turn this off. If you hold shift and go just hit the eye on this one, you can just look at this guy. Let's do something like this. Maybe we need to divide this once. We just divide so that we have just a little bit more geometry. And then let's go back up here. Click the eye again. Look at that, dude. It's like an alien Pac-Man. There's the Q cube you were talking about. Yeah, dude, this is super powerful. Because you think about it, like you can... Like, think about the shapes you could make with this. It's so sick. So like smooth it out too, where I'm seeing issues. Like, ooh, I don't like that. Oh, that's not good. So powerful. So Effector's asking questions like, hey, I have a question. What's the percentage of your environment work would you say is done in ZBrush versus just modeling low poly the whole way? So honestly, you almost never use ZBrush. It's very rare. Like I've been making games for like 10 years. And the amount of time that I've actually in the industry used ZBrush is probably a total time of maybe a year, maybe less than that, maybe like 6 months total. It's just not, I mean, if you're making more organic type games, then you'll be in there quite a bit more. But it's just not something that, it's slow. I mean, it's fast in like what you can do with it, right? But for the most part, you don't need to go too crazy with sculpting something. Like you're gonna sculpt a tree stump. If it's a stylized game, that makes total sense. If it's a very realistic game, you probably just want to buy some scans or scan your own. Or you could sculpt it. I mean, it depends on how much you're willing to pay for your time, right? If you think about it in a production sense. There are cases and reasons for using ZBrush though. And usually like I err on the side of like, if it can get me something fast, I'm going to go with that route. But one of the other questions that had popped up earlier this morning was talking about importing meshes to do blockouts with. And doing blockouts that way is totally fine. Like, if you think that that's bad, I would not worry about it. Like, do what works. Yeah, during your internship, you use ZBrush a lot for decals. Also for wearing down architecture, etc. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, so what I would probably do for wearing down architecture is just do some booleans. But it also depends on like if you're going to do bakes and, you know, there's a lot of special case scenarios, and it's the difference between like, do you want to spend like a week on this asset or do you want to just get it in the game and have it like ready to go, like 70% shippable in like half the time. That's what it really comes down to. And if you're stacked with a bunch of stuff to do, you're just not going to open ZBrush, because you could probably do it faster by getting it 70% outside of ZBrush. But that doesn't, I'm not saying either that you should just like look at it that way. Ah, I see. I see. Oh. Oh. Show me the ZBrush magic, please. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah. Let's see what else we can talk about here. Oh, moving buttons around. Also, don't forget when you're holding control, like you can get tooltips and stuff like that. But where are we at here? It's gonna take me a second to remember. Just pull this over here. So preferences, config, enable customize is what I'm looking for. I have it up here. Oh, there it is. It's right there. Look at that. I just mouse over it here and it tells me. So if you enable customize, you can like, what's the hotkey for it? There it is. So Alt and Control, you can just start moving stuff around. So like, maybe I need, let's see here. I just realized that Barry there, good old Kim's like, show me some ZBrush magic. Dude, that guy's in ZBrush all the time. Why not showcase layers in ZBrush? I mean, I could show you that. I'll show you that in a second here. So we've got enable customize on, which is the same as right here. So it's in preferences, enable customize. And then if you're holding down Control and Alt, you can start to drag things around. So probably one of the better examples is like, maybe I want this green metallic material for later, or I want to be able to utilize it a lot. Let's go here. So you can drag it out and bring it down. Oh yeah, because you guys totally love that matte cap red wax. We're going to just put it there. So good. Then we can disable that and then go into preferences and you store your config. That way everything gets saved. Yeah, if you're a character artist, dude, it makes total sense. You'd be in ZBrush all the time. All the time. I mean, I don't know what the percentage would be. Red wax is my true enemy. Yeah, so, I mean, now we're going to get into, I wouldn't say that layers is more of the advanced stuff, but the goal of this stream was to answer some of the more basic questions around, like, getting used to ZBrush, because it's a little weird at first, for sure. And if you don't use it for a while, you completely lose the ability to, like, even understand how to move things around. So let's go ahead and we'll just turn this up. We'll turn this into a grid. And we'll just... That's right. I did something. Oh, that's gross looking. That's the smooth valleys. So you can see it's like smoothing in the creases versus like it's smoothing in the concave areas and trying to leave the convex areas alone. Really useful in a lot of scenarios. So let's go ahead and switch these colors. Oh my god, that's yeah, never mind. Let's no, can't have that. Let's do something like that. That should work for now. Yeah, so the bridge function always wows people. So I was I was getting to that, and then I went into a little tangent. So let me, I'm gonna open up, we'll open up Moto. Gustav, what's up, man? Gustafsson? I'm always gonna say that wrong. We're looking at Zbrush, just some of the more basic stuff. That's art thing. So while that is loading in the back, okay, there it is. Never mind. I need to update my Moto. Let's do this. So with this, all 3D packages have this now. So if we're in ZBrush, you would go Z here. Is an application that communicates between 3D applications and ZBrush. So if I click this, it should just, we'll see. We'll see. First time's the charm, right? Yeah, we'll replace the cube, sure. Oh, nice. So it does not like n-gons, just so you know. Let's fix that. So we'll go back over here. We'll just select these faces. Oops. And then Shift T. Super clean, right? No, it's okay. Then we'll go Z it back over. Okay, fixed. So that's really nice, and you just push back and forth between the two. Do I bake an X-Normal or Substance Painter? Currently, I'm baking a Substance Painter, but I'm probably going to be doing a lot more baking in Moto soon. Gonna need that round edge shader action. So that's a pretty useful tool. I would look into a GoZ plugin for your favorite 3D application. They're kind of for quite a bit of them, actually. So what were we looking at before this? We customize UI. What is this? Interesting. Interesting. That's a cube, apparently. So we've customized UI. We've looked at man, we've looked at, I think, everything that was on the list. Oh. If you go Z this over, this is like the workflow I was talking about with like dealing with all your meshes in one thing. Is you just South Stands, what's up, man? Yeah, Marmosets Baker's really good. Really good. You can go to your polygroups and you can auto group, and then you can split, right, in your subtools. Yeah, Marmoset has a really good baking tool. So then you just group split. Okay, there you go. You get all your guys there. You can alt click them. It's a switch between. So say you're in this mesh, right? And you've hidden all of the other ones. You can press N, and then you can select through your other ones from here. It helps if you name them, right? But, you know, whatevs. There we go. Do you guys have Moto? Split parts often works instead. This is true. The only reason I use group split is if I have polygroups. Split to parts, I guess means you don't need to, here, if we do this. Split all mesh shells to different subtools. So this basically will skip the step. I forgot that one exists. This will skip the step of you needing to make polygroups. So like if we let's do this. Go Z this back over. Okay, we got all these guys. Split the parts. Hit OK. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, we have that's funny. It's in a whole other scene. So it's on top of itself. It's like maybe the other thing you can do is like if you know that you want to move this one, you could just go in here and move it maybe up here. And then you could just go Z that over and it'll move and update all of the pieces. And then you can just do your split to parts again. You can paint, offset, and skew on the mesh, split the groups and stuff. Really useful. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, you're talking about Marmoset, dude. That's freaking... It's nice. Yeah, you can basically paint skewing away in real time. There's some nice real-time normal baking information being shown too. Like you can scale the shell dynamically and see what normals are being caught and what aren't. Let me see if there's anything else that I should cover. Oh, thanks, Veyron. There's a link to GoZ. I think GoZ is not a thing in ZBrush Core as well, FYI. Includes a list of supported programs. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. What? Dude, this song. That's great. It's too great to listen to. Right, not in ZBrush Core. Small dev tier. Is it weird? It's weird without a webcam, isn't it? Oh, it's so weird. Speed test? Yes, we're fine. Yeah, ZBrush, you gotta push through it. Missed your great face. Get out of town. Get out of here. It's back. When it starts to desync again, I'll just kill it and then bring it back. There he is. Hello. Hi. Yeah. Let me. And that's all I had written down. I think that's all. Man, I kind of want to start tackling the tree in the middle for the temple scene. Like that thing is going to be rough. Like I'm terrible at characters and stuff, but you know. I did both. Like I helped with the level design of the base of operations and then a lot of 3D art, a lot of propping, lighting. May I post a link for the rookie scholarships entrance? Oh yeah, go for it. Let me get Unity up here. Boo hype. What's up, man? So I'm just starting up Unity. Just playing with volumetrics just to test it out. It's pretty fancy. Do I usually use the Wacom right button or press to navigate? You talking about like where's the I mean, this frame thing is pretty useful because whoa, God. It really depends. Oh, God damn it. It really depends how close you are to geometry, right? Because, like, once you get really close, you don't have a back canvas to rotate on anymore. We're talking about camera controls. So if you can't select the background, like when you try and move, you end up moving there. So, like, you can use a button on the Wacom to do it. I honestly stay pretty far back. Let me think here. I think I do use the button, but I interswitch between them quite often. Elite Tech Workshop, dude, with that host. Thank you. How you guys doing? We just got done talking about some basics of ZBrush. Thanks, man. But yeah, the reason I was going to mention the frame here is, like, when you go into this frame, it doesn't matter if there's geometry behind it or not. It's like selecting the blank canvas. So you can do this. This is one of the other benefits to making a document. So if I do a new document, so when you're outside of the document frame, you can freely rotate. Really useful. You can click between the white outline. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, because that white outline goes away if the canvas is really small. The other thing you should know too is because this is not a GPU rendering that's happening in front of you for your geometry, it's more screen space related to performance. So the smaller an asset is, you'll notice your frame rate goes up quite a bit. So it's like way out here, it's like pretty nice. But then when you zoom in, it's a little bit lower. Oh, someone wanted me to talk about tiling assets as well. This is a perfect case for this. Okay, so we're going to go into initialize. We're going to just do a 1 by 1 by 1 of a grid. Actually, let's do 2. Yes. Oh man, dude, I didn't even realize. That's so nice. So I have not tested it with an asset that was created using that QMesh stuff, but let's try appending a subtool like this sphere. Okay, so we'll alt click the sphere and then scale that down. When you get into things like deformation, we'll shift click the subtool window to keep that open as well. You can offset by a whole amount. So by -100, we'll put it there, right? If you then duplicate this subtool and then offset the other direction by 200, those are technically tiling. So if you were to bake this single quad out, dude, we're always learning, man. Like, no one's ever gonna stop learning. There's always something that you won't know. You know what I mean? So these are tiling. Like, if I turn perspective off, those are now tiling. So knowing that, you could do whatever you want, right? You could we could use the move tool. Let's move this over here. I'm holding Control and Alt again to move these around. Right? This is the weirdest way to show this, but we'll go back to this one. We'll delete this tool. So now we're in this one over here. And then you can duplicate this one. And then if you offset it by the correct amount, like those are tiling, right? So you could do this with bricks, for example, and then do it for the top as well. And then it's just a matter of filling in the center. And then once that is all said and done, you can go and do a new document. Say no. And then we're going to make, let's say the document is 2048 by 2048. So you'll see the document goes outside of the, hey, what's up, 4D? How you doing? Let's say, so the document is outside of your viewing space right now. Is this, no. Now I'm like trying to remember. What? I'm like, it's not this, because that's weird. Oh shit, did I forget where it's at? Because I know if you drag this out and frame it, I'm like, what did I just click? Do you guys recall? This is going to bug me now. Ricola? Do you guys Ricola? Floor. Expose. No. Oh, this is so weird that these are here. I'll never get used to that. Dude, I totally forgot how you do this. Oh, this is going to bug me. Because there's zooming your mesh in and out, and then there's zooming your canvas in and out. Zoom document. But where, Veyron? Oh, they got rid of it on the side. I'm just realizing this because usually it used to be over here, didn't it? There's Zoom 3D. You can also scale the object by holding Alt Option. I wonder if they embedded it in here somewhere. Because I'm used to it being over here. Oh, that's freaking weird. Why did they... Oh, now I hit pre-process current. So we're going to edit this. We're going to go to document. I mean, maybe it's there and I'm just not seeing it. That's how long ago I was doing this. So if we do zoom, actual, okay. So we're going to move this up here. And then we're going to do actual. All right, so if you click this, now you can zoom. Oh my God, that's so weird. So this is zooming the document in and out. You split up your sentence so badly. It's okay. It wouldn't have been as bad if there was no delay, right? So zooming this document in and out. Sorry, guys. The document is still a 2048 by 2048. It's just taking up less screen space. Okay. So if you go to this subtool, which is the backplane, and frame it, you've now framed that quad perfectly inside of this space, right? So with that known, you can, where are we at here? Alpha. You can grab doc and like, look at that. That's a height. That's height map. That's height map information. Ah, so good. But you can also, like, there's some external tools that you can download. We won't get into that just because I get super advanced for exporting out all the maps that you want. So you could texture this and all that. But that's how you could get a tileable out of this. But yeah, man, that's weird. They moved those. I guess not. I guess they were realizing that not very many people click on those. If you don't want things, you can just control drag them away in your when you're editing your UI. Control to drag those away because we don't need those. We don't need those down there. What we do need, though, is to save our preferences. What plugins? Let me, I will get the list for you. Man, Veyron, we're like on the same, we're on the same wavelength. We're just delayed by the quality of the internets. How sad. Stubbing my toe, dude. That sucks. Almost is. Oh, I almost modded you, dude. We'll give you a 10-minute one. That was cute. Plug in. I guess that's why I stubbed his toe. So you couldn't see his toes. Nanotile, I think is the name of it. Let me check here. Yes, Nanotile. Lul. There you go. Oh, man. Saber, thanks for the follow, by the way. Caffeine stew. Man, that sounds good. Wait, isn't that coffee? I guess a stew requires that you have things in it, right? So maybe you put marshmallows in it, and then you got your coffee stew. I think that would work. Some caffeine stew. Delicious. Delicious. All right, so... Oh, thanks, Veyron. Oh, man, Tobias, you're so behind on everything. Unless you're laughing about the coffee thing. Because we all know I drank not enough coffee today, right? So let's look at this scene. So this is the... Oh, man, this is the scene with all the frames. So we've been working on this temple scene for freaking ages. But I'm now... Oh, my God. Way outside of this. I'm interested in working on this thing, which right now is just a block out. Let's get that directional light rotated so we can see what we're doing here. Yes, this guy. We can locate him. Coffee and cakes. In cakes? In cakes. How many polygons are currently in the scene? I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to check, but I don't really care. I don't know. A lot. I mean, especially when you start looking at the tessellated stuff. We could go, what is it? Shaded wireframe? It's not scary. I mean, that doesn't look scary, right? When you get nice and close, that gets scary. But, I can't even, you can't, maybe it's because I don't have the skybox on. Nope. Wireframe is not working. Hit the stats button in the game view. Oh, God. I don't even know where the stats. There it is. 12.6 million. Boom. It's probably because of the, it's probably counting triangulation or tessellation on the geometry. right off of the bat, even though it's not really, you know, there until you get close. And there's no LODs, so there's that. But yeah, no, it's crazy. It might be time to start optimizing this a little bit. I need more music. So we've got about 20 minutes to go. I'm just going to build a playlist off this. I know, how am I even streaming with 12 million plays on the screen? What is happening? It's painful, man. So let's look at this guy. Wiggle, wiggle. So this dude, face, tree block out. We're going to locate, show and explore. FBX is right there. Let's go into Moto here. Ooh. Ooh. Did I feed my computer coffee as well? No, my computer is just stupid. Stupid OP. Load a Rooney. All right. Let's turn the verts off. So this is our block out. I think what I would actually end up doing is take this face and this. Dupe it. We're gonna, I think we'll just cut that. We'll make a new. We won't get this perfect, but we can try. We can get it close, and that's all I really care about. Doesn't need to be flawless. Center all. Whoops. You're leaning a bit there, buddy. We could remesh the face in Zbrush and use that as like the initial. That's actually a pretty good idea. I would probably dynamesh it as well first, just to kind of try and maintain some of the details and smooth it out, and then yeah. So let's go ahead and grab these guys, show you the power of GoZ. Okay, so let's go here. We'll start with this sphere thing. I'm gonna make a new document. We'll just drag that out, frame it up, and then we'll GoZ it over. Subtools split to parts, sure. All right, there we go. And reproject the details? Oh, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. What is that madness? Oh, dude, thanks. That means a lot, man. Are you in the, did you join the Discord? I don't know if you, we get pretty spammy in there. We're always talking. You should join the Discord. We have like a, what are you working on channel, basically. Art related. People just dropping hotness in there all the time. Okay, so let's go and Z plugin. Oh, is it already over there? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's do Dynamesh. I don't care about the groups. I want it to be 1 million polys. Just Dynamesh that and see how it goes. Look at that. It's not bad. If I smooth it with valleys on, I can smooth out a lot of those weird details that are happening without crushing a lot of the sculpted shapes from the original. Wow, it's actually holding up pretty well. That's crazy. So, and then maybe we'll do like a blur of 1. No, how about 2? We'll Dynamesh it again. I mean, that's, man, that is dense. Probably don't need it to be that crazy. Let's try 0.5. Yeah, that's 0.5 and it's still looking pretty good. Why crazy? Oh, why crazy to do that? Because I don't think I'd need to, like, I'm not interested in enough in the shapes that I'm seeing here to warrant doing that. I mean, the other thing I should probably do before I do this mesh, let me see if I can keep on doing this. This timeline thing up here, FYI, is like a history slider. So I think actually, if I go forward to here, and then we try and smooth those out, right? This is the valley smoothing, so you can see it's kind of like filling in these seams. We can actually, oh, that's so nice that it does that. Makes things so easy. Those lines are essentially where like the face is like separate stones, right? So let's look at actually splitting that. What time is it? All right, we got 15 minutes. We're good. Okay, so we've got this face. Let's go ahead and save this face. Saved it. It's called face. I think I like the idea of it being... Oh, wow. This mesh is huge. Look at that. I've got like a draw size. Turn the dynamic off, maybe. Where is that at? Why can't I turn that off? Oh. Because it's one of those things they changed where you have to hold shift to do it. So let's turn some symmetry on. Let's I like the idea of the... Where are we at here? Of the head coming out further. Do you know what I mean? Get those cheekbones. I don't know, I'm not a character modeler guy. Oh man, he looks so sad now. Nice. Oh, nice. Oh, I like that more. Oh, yeah. Yes. I like it. I like the chubbiness. Those sad lips. He's just like, hmm. What is happening? Oh man, that host. Oh, you guys are showing up at the worst time possible. Please make a follow. I'm out of here in like 10 minutes, guys. But welcome to the Empire, where we make faces fat. No, no. This, I don't know how to best explain this stream. So I stream 2 times a week. The goal is for myself and for everyone who's watching to get better at 3D art. We do portfolio reviews on Thursdays. We do critiques from the Discord on Thursdays as well. And probably the bigger aspect of this community is the Discord that we have. Join that Discord and you will... I can almost guarantee that with your efforts, you will become a better artist. I say almost because like it requires you to go for it. You know what I mean? Anyways, welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. This is heads up, I'm not a character artist. So, but some of the elements that I want to make sure that kind of come across are like, so these, I'm holding down control to mask these areas right now. You can see like, I'm just going to mask these guys out. If you control click in the away from the mask, it will soften. I'm going to undo that. If you do it with an alt, it will sharpen. And what I want to do, when will ZBrush 5 come out? Holding off my purchase until then. Why would you hold off your purchase? I think it'll, I bet ZBrush 5 comes out and the cost of the actual software goes up. Because I remember when ZBrush was $300 back in ZBrush 2.5. Nena, that's hilarious. Thanks for the host, by the way, though. Super cool. What made you, out of curiosity, what made you host me? You're like, I'm just bringing in a bunch of trolls, and then my chat just gets spammed by terrible. Hope you're doing well this fine Monday. What if ZBrush 4 comes out and now, what if you buy ZBrush 4 and then ZBrush 5 comes out and it's a paid upgrade? I mean, it's possible. That'd be the first time they've done that, and they've kind of been due to do it, but it's possible. That's a weird argument, though. I mean, if you would buy ZBrush 4, you're going to buy ZBrush 5, right? Maybe ZBrush 5 will be that good that you're willing to upgrade. But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard argument. That made me host you? Oh my gosh. Thanks, man. I hope I can do more of that stuff. That was really fun. Are people actually using the voice channels in your Discord? They do. It's rare, but they do. One time we had a channel with like, I think it was like 12 people in it. That was interesting. So, is this, I think this is what I want to click. Yes. So if I click extract, you get a preview of the masked area popping forward. Let's mess with the thickness a little bit. I mean, shoot, maybe we'll just bump the thickness up. So if you turn wireframe on when we extract, you can, oh, you can't even see it. You have to accept it first. You mother. Double-sided surface, sure. Let's see what's going on here. Surface smoothness. Oh. Interesting. What's this little dot here? Look at that. So I've never really played with this, but So you can see how it's maintaining a lot of the shape information that's going on. But if you click this little dot here, it will do like an overall smooth and give you a clean. So we're going to hit extract and accept it. So it's going to give us a subtool. Oh my God. Look how clean that is. I'm excited. You're learning Moto in the meantime? Nice. Not too much of a hurry to learn Zbrush? Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, I'm hitting my mic. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Man, that is clean. That's awesome. The Green Gray, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, you're as shocked as I am. I'm like, so let's extract this guy as well. So basically, I want these elements to be separate from the head. Yeah, so with the dot thing, if we extract this, I mean, it's keeping the dots a little bit, right? You see that? I wonder what it looks like if we extract. Man, that's awesome. That's pretty cool, man. I think, what's this? Thin border? When T-border is pressed, the resulting extracted mesh will have a thin border of geometry applied around the edge. Is that what that is? Oh, I see. Oh, it's got a crease on it. That is really interesting. So if I uncheck that and then do this, apply. Oh, it's still extracting the, that's hilarious. So does this one have a, I mean, it's still got a, I don't follow. I don't follow. So that feature is also in 4R7. That's good to know. So the idea is you extract those elements, and then we can, like we'd probably do it with a crown as well. And then maybe these pieces on the side, we would create those as their own pieces, right? You can merge them in later if you wanted. I'd probably extract the eyeballs and actually bring in a sphere. Is it? It's because I forgot to unmask the top. That's great. Let me delete this one. There it is. Yep, you're right. Look at that. Now I'm gonna push it to its limit. Let's see how this goes. So I'm curious now. Because this should be all types of horrible. Whoop. Dude, I love how we're just doing this, and in the background there's a scene with like 12 million polys just kind of floating there. Like, who does that? Apparently I do. Is this gonna kill it? Oh god. Let's save face. Ha. 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 So honestly, what we should do is imitate this piece here. I don't know if that's even. Or like the one in the center, because like if we can create that piece, And then, yeah, it's because I'm smoothing it so much, you know? So let's accept that. We'll unmask. Oh man, we're getting some weird territory with this shape. So those are poly groups. Let's auto group. That's not a color I want to be dealing with. That works a little better. All right. Clay tubes. I'm going to have to do this shape off stream or else you guys are going to be giving me the serious shits about it. I mean, it'd probably be easier to model this shape in here, honestly. All right. I got to get out of here. How convenient that it's 9:30, right around the time I'm going to make something I could truly be embarrassed about. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I will see you on Thursday. Dose portfolios. And between 10 and 15 critiques. What is that, South Stands? No, thank you. Thanks for the host, man. Super cool. Give a follow if you want to learn some game art. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Stick around for those end credits. Next week with Din. All right, peace out, guys.